And we're back with me, Johnny McMurray, on the On The Spot Football Podcast for yet another fantastic guest. Tonight's guest is a young lad from Lisburn who makes a massive move to England and gets a phone call from none other than Harry Redknapp to make his move. He's here on the spot with us. It's Mr. Neil Masters. Neil, how are you, sir?
Very well, Johnny. Thanks very much for getting me on.
Thank you for coming on. I say this most of the time when we have our conversations with people, and I'm usually saying I torture them, but tonight's a wee bit different. I got a message from you a long time ago. I remember sitting in Spain, and it was just a general chat, and I was like, how do we make this work? Because you've come in from Norway. It's a bit of a journey, like.
It's a bit of a journey. I think doing the podcast for me was about time for myself to talk.
Good.
I think I've been bottling a lot up for the last 25 years.
Okay.
And obviously I just wanted to get my message out there, Johnny. I wanted to get out for a few reasons, and obviously the reasons is I want to give something back to football again.
Okay.
Whether it's mental health or whether it's developing kids and stuff in the future. But I just thought it's time to talk.
Yeah.
I think it's time to get my opinions, my views out there.
Well, why not? No better place to do it. No, mate, no better place to do it on the spot and all, and you'd be sitting here. We're in our cardigans. We didn't plan this, by the way, if anybody probably thinks that we've organised this, but your cardigan, I'll give it's a bit better than mine. Mine was off Temu, I think. So. And
then obviously I was in Norway, Johnny, and seen your podcast and really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Seen my friend Niall Curry on there as well with his flares and.
But we're matching flares that
night. So
I tried to outdo me, I think.
Yeah, so I thought to myself, well, come back home and do my first podcast. I thought that's the way to go.
Well, thank you for coming. It's a pleasure to have you in. We had a conversation the other day. Well, we've been messaging quite regularly back and forward over the last couple of months, but what an incredible career. Somebody from Lisburn getting the move that early, and none other than, as I mentioned before, as Harry Redknapp gives you a call. It's kind of a different process to go through at such a young age. So I feel like we have to start from the start, just like everybody else. And where did it all begin for you? You're a young lad from Lisburn. How was football the main sport that you kind of get into? And how was it whenever Harry give you a call at 16 to get you to England?
I think for myself, I think a lot of it's got to do with my dad.
Okay.
Obviously come from Lisburn. My dad's been involved in Irish football for basically most of his life, as a player until he was 40.
Right.
When he was he played in the championship winning side, the cup side at Glenavon.
Okay.
And then obviously he went on to Cliftonville as a chairman and life member, and so basically at a young age, when I can remember, when I was 4, 5, 6, my dad was taking me to all the games, whether it was at Solitude, taking me all the boardrooms, smelling the smoke, smelling the whiskey,
getting the sandwiches,
and not just that. I think just taking me into the changing room, where you smelt the players getting ready, and I just got that taste for it.
Yeah,
I think, and as a young kid, basically, I just had a ball. That was my life. I just wanted to play football. I had a brick wall, I had a plastic ball, and that was me started.
Yeah.
So I got that taste early, I think, from my dad, and then for me is from the early age of 5 when I started my school at Largymore Primary School. I just wanted to play football. Couldn't get enough of it before school, during school, after school, and that just went right through to when I went to Lisnagarvey High School. I think normally when you're a youngster, when you're 5, 6, 7, what do you want to do when you grow up? And I think the teachers were a bit annoyed with me because all I ever wrote was I want to be a professional footballer.
Yeah.
And they're like, nah, you're no serious. What do you want to do? And I said, no, I want to do this. So I think from the early age, and then started playing when I was at 5. Thought I could kick the ball over 50 yards when I was at 5, and I thought, okay, I've got a decent left foot here. So I think, okay, where can this take me? And then obviously got the opportunity with Lisburn Youth.
Okay.
So a fantastic club.
Such a big club.
It's Johnny, mate, it's absolutely phenomenal club. I look back just with good days.
Yeah.
With Lisburn Youth. I remember the first year I was there. I think you had people like Les King, Colin Stewart, fantastic coaches, Robbie Walker, Harry Walker, Jim Kerr.
Yeah.
You had great people's managers as well. They looked after you. But for me, the first year I went there, when you go to the do at the end of the season, they've got this trophy board, and it's about 100 yards long, and there's these massive trophies. And the first thing I looked at, I said, I want that, and that. What am I going to do about it?
Yeah.
And then I just had a wonderful time. I think it was 8 years, collected most of the trophies, which was quite nice. And then just progressed that way. And then at the end, right at the end, I think it was my last game for Lisburn Youth. I think it was a league decider against Bloomfield at Sydenham.
Okay.
And it was my last game. I was playing midfield, funny enough.
Okay.
And so I got a hat trick in my last game for Lisburn Youth. Header, free kick and a penalty.
Okay.
And it was a great send-off, 1-3-2. Won the league. And that was my time with Lisburn Youth finished. And then obviously
It progresses.
Then it progresses into the next level.
Before we step over the next level as such, Lisburn Youth, a team that I grew up playing against, I was at Rosario as a kid, and it always had a knack for developing players. But what always stood out for me was why they never potentially had a team that would be able to compete at a higher level, because kind of seemed to get to a certain stage in life where players maybe who were very good that played at Lisburn Youth got to 14, 15 and started going to your Linfields and your Cliftonvilles and your Glentorns. Whereas if somebody was able to keep those players or potentially push them on to first team basis, the club would probably do really well. I never got that. I was like kind of same as St Andrews. It never had a first team, when you're thinking like so many professional players came through the ranks at these clubs, and it would be amazing for them to have a first team or a team that kind of challenged at some category.
Yeah, absolutely. I think my process when I was going through Lisburn Youth, I was seeing players at an older level, like Sir Richie Johnson. He went to Tottenham, and he was a phenomenal. He was scoring like 100 goals a season.
Yeah.
So I thought the automatic way was that you obviously came to you when you were 15, and then you get snapped up by the likes of Linfield, Glenavon, Portadown, Glentoran. I thought that was just the normal way. But I thought if you keep the bulk of these players, what a side you could have had.
Unbelievable.
Some fantastic players going through. But on the other side of that, Johnny, when you look at Peter Kennedy, Keith Rowland, that obviously they went on to be professional players. The conveyor belt even before that, Colin Murdoch and people like that, the conveyor belt going through that club was phenomenal. And our local rivals were Hillsborough boys. So the likes of Neely Lennon, Jerry Taggart, people like that there. It was like fantastic games to play in.
Yeah, absolutely. Say kicking matches too, no doubt, knowing
they were
those,
kicking
those
matches.
names. Absolutely. How does it come to you then when you turn 16? How do you know that you're potentially a step ahead of where you are in terms of ability, or kind of potentially on the radar for teams in England to take you across? Because it's very young.
I think it is. I think I've always had belief in my ability. I think my left foot
saved you.
I think the left foot. I think that was my little pride and joy when I played football.
Good.
I felt like I could do something special with my left peg, whether it was left back, centre, midfield. I went to Bournemouth as a midfielder. That didn't last too long.
Okay.
I think I played one game and got pushed to the back. I thought they probably seen this big lump and they were stick him at the back there and just use that left peg.
Yeah.
But I think even with junior football, Lisburn Youth and stuff, Johnny, I just had no fear with my left peg. It was like penalties, free kicks, corners, goal kicks. I was just, and I thought that's got to be valuable.
Yeah.
That's got to be valuable. But then it's a different kettle of fish when you get the opportunity to go over on trial. And you go over on trial with 20 kids you've never met. You're in a different country. You're playing. You've got basically one match to show yourself.
Yeah.
And then obviously after that game, it's a little bit, have I done enough? Have I done well enough? Was I good enough? Am I going to go back home with the tail between my legs? But it's a good opportunity. And then obviously I had to wait 3 months to get an answer.
Okay. Well, we're going to get into that. But I think over the course of the podcast that I've had, and a lot of people who have been to England kind of say the same thing, that it's a very daunting experience for people, especially at that age, because you're kind of left at an airport. See you later. Enjoy yourself. Somebody's going to pick you up, usually at the other side, and take you to your digs or take you to where you're going to go and kind of be in charge of you for a couple of days. And taking a kid out of their comfort zone like that's, I wouldn't say traumatic as such, but it's not usual, especially to be away from your parents and stuff. So what was that like for you at a young age? Did that affect you, or were you just overly excited to get the opportunity to go to England and try?
I think it's a good question, Johnny. It's a good question. I think I remember waiting for the phone call.
Okay.
And then on a Sunday evening, I got a phone call. Mum answered the phone, said, "Neil, can you come into the dining room? I got somebody on the phone for you." So I was like, "No problem." "Hello, Neil, it's Harry here." I was like, didn't know what to say. I was like, "Oh, hello, okay, no problem." And then he said, "Look, we want to offer you an apprenticeship in Bournemouth. What do you think?" So
So he's done that. He's phoned you himself. Harry Redknapp's phoned your mum. They offer you like a YTS, which is like a scholar program. How nuts is that from somebody who's so recognised in the game? at that level. Do you know, like, I wouldn't have thought it would have been him to offer you that. I thought it would maybe like a youth team manager or something. But it's a personal touch of class in a way, but it's also very insane for you as a 16-year-old to be like, God, Harry Redknapp's on the phone and he's just offering me a contract.
I think through the podcast, Johnny, I think there's a few more stories about what actually Harry was as a person.
Yeah.
And especially towards myself. And that's during my career and after my career was finished. So, but that evening there was a bit special. Turned around to my mum and dad. They both looked. Mum had a tear in her eye and Dad was a bit shaken, which I've never seen before.
Okay.
So, and I'm stood there shaking on the telephone, not knowing what to say. And they give me a nod. Within 2 seconds, I said, yeah, I want it. And then, like you said, now for such a young age to go over, I was excited, nervous, but I was excited. I had an opportunity. So I went over when I was 15, just turning 16, and the first 3 months were brutal.
Yeah.
It was great, different environment, out of my comfort zone. You had to grow up very, very quickly.
Okay.
It's like the kids of today. It can make you or break you, Johnny, within weeks. And I travelled over with Keith Rowland from Portadown. Okay. So we went together, and I think that helped. I really do. So we settled in a bit quicker. But when we went over there, the first 3 months, I was homesick every day. I was like, but after 3 months, got an opportunity already with Harry in the first team.
Okay.
On a pre-season game. But it kind of clicked the code where this is what I want.
Okay.
This is what I want. And I thought to myself, there was two things. One, I didn't want to go home. And two, I didn't want to disappoint my parents or my friends. So then it just gave me the mentality and obviously the motivation to basically get my head down and use every day like it was the last day, because I wanted it.
Yeah.
But I also didn't want to go home.
When you get there in such a short period of time, you've been able to make sort of a massive impression to make you into a player, get you to the level where somebody's recognised you for one and has the faith in you to play. What's that like? And are you going from like an under 16 team or an under 17 or an under 18 team to the first team? Because it's a massive jump from a young age to play with fully fit professional men in a massive club. Like, it's not like you're just going from a fourth division team here type thing and just playing with your mates down the road here, going for pints at the weekend. They're probably doing that anyway in England, but fully professional men.
The pints and stuff come later.
Yes,
that's when I get.
That's probably the wrong thing to say.
When I get a little trip home,
yeah,
it was out with my mates. They were dragging me out, and I must admit I had a few pints and stuff. But I think it was just special because in the pre-season I had no feeling whatsoever I was going to get into the first team.
Yeah,
I think it was just establishing myself and just basically making an impression over there, which you have to do every day.
Yeah.
Because I was a first-year apprentice. So I was like, this is new to me. And then I was just, it was a pre-season game. And we were training beside the first team. And then I got a call from the youth team manager. He said, Harry wants you in the squad tonight for the first team. And I was like, all right, no problem, bring it on. And I was the only one out of the junior team. So I was like a little bit, okay, I'll probably travel, maybe on the bench, bring me on. But I was excited. So Harry picked me up from the stadium, drove me to the game, says, you're starting, son.
It's escalated very quickly here.
So I'm thinking, I'm in junior training thinking I might be on the bench, to Harry picking me up, or the boss as he used to call him.
The boss, yeah.
And then he drove me to the game and he said, you're starting.
Was this in like some sort of fancy like Rolls Royce or?
It was his faithful black Mercedes.
Okay.
That was the dreaded car when you seen in the morning. If it came later, if he's been at the bookies with his horses and stuff.
Right, okay.
And if he came in, you knew what type of mood he was in. So then obviously he took me to the game, and what an experience that was.
Yeah, I'm sure.
I was the only junior player in the team, and I was playing with these giants, the type of people you're afraid to walk into the changing room and see. And suddenly I'm thrown in. I played 90 minutes, and it was a fantastic experience.
Who was this against?
This was against a non-league team, just in the local Bournemouth area that they played against. It was the first pre-season game every season.
Okay. Oh, so they done that as like a big club, their wee club type thing?
They did, yeah, and it was the first time that Harry puts out his strongest squad.
Right.
So, and just to get that opportunity, that gave me a little bit of motivation that, do you know what, I can handle this. I know it wasn't against the biggest opposition, but...
It's an introduction to men's football,
introduction,
isn't it? The one thing that sticks out to me in my head here as you talk about being at that age and going into that team is what's it like to be a part of that team on that day, but how good are the other pros with you, knowing that you're such a young kid, you've been brought up on the day to play midfielder, left back, probably wherever Harry's put you, you're probably just in there, you're happy enough anywhere. But do people take control of you? Do people try and give you advice? Do people manage you through the game or let you play, or are you isolated by yourself and you have to figure it out? Or it's like there's so many questions going through my head here. I'm just kind of questioning, what would that be like?
To be honest, I think, especially in my early years, when I was breaking through into the Bournemouth team, especially that occasion, my first game, first team pros were unbelievable.
Yeah.
Oh, talk
Class.
about the other centre half was playing with, a guy called John Williams.
Okay.
Big, massive guy, unbelievable header, aggressive. He was phenomenal. But all the boys came round before the game, shook my hand. You'll be all right, son. Just go out and play your game. Same as Harry said, Neil, go out, play your game. Do things easy. Settle yourself into the game. Enjoy it.
Yeah.
First team were brilliant, but that sped right through Johnny. And then obviously a couple of years later, when it broke through with Tony Pulis, which we'll come to, then the first team, I had two fantastic centre halves beside me.
Mm-hmm.
And I had a guy called Mark Morris, who was brutal, ex-Wimbledon, Sheffield United.
Okay.
So I had this guy on the side of me, and he didn't take any prisoners.
Yeah.
The amount of abuse I got from him every single game,
Yeah.
it was like, but at the end of the game, if I'd done my job for him, but also for the team, for the manager, for the club, he was unbelievable.
Yeah.
He made me feel 7 foot tall, John.
Pats in the back,
He was,
encouragement.
yeah, but he was brutal.
Yeah.
During the game, he was like on me like a rash all the time. But it made me lift my game to new levels.
Is that a type of thing where the fella's just a bit of a dick, or is it because he just has seriously high standards?
High standards, experience,
Fair. Yeah.
and he wanted the best for me.
That helps.
When it came to if I'd done something wrong, he'd give me clinical,
Yeah.
what do you call it? Basically advice all the time, the hard way.
Yeah. Okay.
But at the end of the day, it made me grow.
Yeah.
It did that period of time, give me that mentality that then obviously, hopefully with the quality that I had, then I could obviously build from there as a first team player and be established.
How quickly do you settle in after these games to your tenure at Bournemouth, and how quickly does things sort of kick on for you now?
I think, obviously, when Tony gave me the opportunity, the breakthrough,
Tony.
Tony Pulis.
Okay. So was he there with Harry?
He was there with Harry, then Harry moved on,
Okay.
and then obviously Tony took over. And then in the pre-season I had with Tony, he was pushing me forward. You're going to play in the first team. He was driving me. His man management was phenomenal.
Okay.
So he was pushing me all pre-season. And then I started the season well. And then after about 2 or 3 games, which I think is important for young players, I think sometimes when you play them for a game or two and then take them out, how are they going to react to it? Are they mentally stable enough to... I want young players that can play 7, 8, 9, 10 games in a row, if you know what I mean. But Tony gave me the opportunity and I loved it. He made me feel massive, and I just felt like I was improving all the time. Mm-hmm. And then maybe after 8, 9 games, then suddenly I remember one game we played Port Vale at home. Come into the change rooms before, I'm ready for action again. Can't wait for the next game. And then Tony's come in, he says, right, this is the team. Neil, you're the captain today. And I was sat there, what? He says, yeah. And I'm looking around the change room. We've got 35-year-olds and this 18, 19-year-old.
I thought you were going to say he's going to leave you out to
Yeah,
try and see
yeah.
where you reacted. But
that's what I mean.
a shock.
But he kind of went the other way.
Yeah.
So I felt, okay, he's giving me a bit of responsibility here.
Okay.
How am I going to handle it? So I just thought, you know what, I got to get out there.
Yeah.
Embrace it. Had the armband on, led the team out. It was one of the best moments in the football career.
Is that you on top of the world? I notice like to have the band anyway, and sometimes whenever somebody gives you to take the team out, you feel this surge of pride as such. But to do that at such a young age and have the backing of a new manager must be like, I'm the man here and I can take this team a wee bit further.
I thought that was a massive boost for me, Johnny.
Yeah.
It was. We went out, played Port Vale, we won 2-1. Next day in the newspapers, and to be fair, I'm not one to shout about myself, but it was quite funny. Captain Fantastic, Master. Captain Fantastic. I'm thinking, is he? Are they
Wait
care?
until you get beaten then.
Wait until you get beat. And so next day in the newspaper, got a 9 out of 10. Captain Fantastic. I thought to myself, does it get any better than this?
Yes.
I thought, and I think that gave me the extra momentum just to kick on from there.
Yeah.
And just keep being consistent. And I think it was a run about 28 games after that where it just grew.
Yeah.
I just grew into
Just consistent.
Yeah, and then I got into the groove probably in the next 3 months where I couldn't wait for the next game.
Yeah.
I loved it. I had pictures in my head. I was like, okay, I'm playing left back, but I'm saying, all right, I've got to have 8 overlaps. I've got to have 8 shots in goal. I'm playing left back. Probably 8 corners, 8 free kicks. So my game's planned.
Yeah.
But I've got to start in the front foot. I've got to be mentally ready. Okay, this is the pictures implemented. So the first 5 minutes, I'm on the front foot. My winger, he's going to have to chase me.
Yeah.
Not that way,
Yeah,
but he's chasing me home. And they don't like that, do they? And then obviously it just progressed from there.
I don't want to jump too far ahead, but do you think that the game's changed now where people don't do that?
I think even if you look at the top of football now, I think giving players freedom to do what they're good at, to get the best out of what they are. I think young players, I think they should be man-managed better.
Yeah.
I think a lot of it is tactical, I think, these days. But obviously I think with players, I think...
It's not sideways and backwards, isn't it? And that's all.
For
keep it.
sake, I don't know. My football philosophy is to get the ball forward.
Yeah.
Whether you play through lines, where you see you've got 2 or 3 options every time to go forward, play forward.
Yeah.
Excite the crowd. Do you know what I mean? Express yourself. It's like if I didn't get them 4 or 5 overlaps or cross in the box, I'm angry after the game. I'm not happy.
Yeah.
Not happy at all. But I see these young players, hopefully they won't be dragged back. Give them the freedom to express themselves.
Yeah. No, I hear you. Yeah. It's just as you say that, it's just kind of resonates as today's football's not as kind of, I wouldn't say basic or simple, but sometimes simple football is the best type of football, and it's like everybody kind of sings off the same hymn sheet in a way where you know what Neil's going to do at left back. Your centre forwards know where Neil's going, and once Neil gets to a certain area, I know that I need to be. Instead of it, oh, he might turn back here, he's going to pass it, he's going to keep it, and especially from me as a centre forward, I'd be worrying. I'm sitting going like, I know that ball's maybe not coming in, so
Yeah, I know.
you don't do what you should do in a way.
But it's strange if you look at the managers of playing under. When you think about Tony Pulis, very direct in the channels, no messing about, play backwards or sideways, you're off the pitch.
Yeah.
That was Tony.
Yeah.
He wouldn't do it, but he'd let me express myself going forward.
Yeah.
He was always to me, nail your first touch. You've got 2 or 3 options. I want you going forward.
Yeah.
I don't want it sideways. I don't want it back. Harry, get the ball wide, crosses in the box, attacking football, play with freedom.
Yeah.
Graham Taylor, very similar to Harry. But the time going back to when I was at Bournemouth, I think one of the biggest influences for me was a guy called Mark O'Connor.
Okay.
Who played for Crystal Palace, legend at Bournemouth, and he played left wing. Johnny was unbelievable for me.
Okay.
All I used to do, I had one job to do, just knock at the desi. He'd keep the ball for me, wait, slip it through every time. So he was a big, massive plus in my career.
But it helps then if he knows that you're willing to do those things. Do you know what I mean? So it's
he
kind of reciprocal.
He probably had a field day, Johnny.
Yeah, he doesn't. I don't have to run every time or take somebody on every time. I know that Neil'll do my run for me here, and
It was.
I can sit.
I tell you what was funny. It was like when I left Bournemouth, the Wolves, and some of the fans sent me some mail. I did not fan mail, by the way. It was like I had 2 letters.
You mean?
I'll come to that later.
Okay.
But I had 2 letters from the fans, and they were saying, "Oh, you're the best left winger we've ever had." I'm like, left winger? I've never played left wing in my life, but because I was just bombing up and down all the time. So that was a bit of a compliment as well.
Before we go too much further, obviously, Harry Redknapp, who's made such a massive name for himself, whether it's at all these different, there's Portsmouth, there's absolutely everybody under the sun. He's been at so many clubs, but what's the main difference between him and Tony for you, and who do you think got the best out of you? Well, maybe it's probably biased to say because maybe Harry only had you for a certain period of time, but
yeah, I think obviously I had Harry for a short period of time. Harry was great with me. He was tough with me as well.
Okay.
So
you got a few hairdryer treatments, as some would put it.
I seen the dark side of Harry.
Okay.
A couple of times when I was young and a little bit insecure and a little bit stupid, maybe at times.
Okay.
There's a couple of instances which I'm not afraid to talk about.
Okay.
Number 1 was in America.
Right.
So we went on tour to America at the end of the season. 3 or 4 of us junior players got called in. Brilliant. So we went out, played Seattle Sounders, we played Vancouver Whitecaps and Portland Timbers. So Harry came over to the last game. So the last game, 2 days before the last game, was my 18th birthday.
Right. Okay.
So Jamie Redknapp, all the boys are organising a night out. We're on a Navy ship, so the boys are having a few drinks, and obviously we haven't eaten. So this didn't end too good.
2 sheets to the wind, should we say?
So it ended up getting carried off a boat and basically put in the hotel. And Harry walked into our bedroom. I could hear everything, but I was completely out of it.
Yeah.
2 days later, we played Portland Timbers. 5 minutes before half time, My boot fell off. Slipped. They scored.
Oh, no.
1-0. I'm thinking I'm sacked.
Yeah, that's what he done.
I'm
He's
thinking
going to
I'm
come
gone.
from it.
Basically, I'm sweating Budweiser now, Johnny, to be fair to you. And I apologise for the drinking, but that's just the way it was. And Harry's coming at half-time. And to be fair, mate, if your podcast could take some curse words, I would be building it up full now.
See, we just beat them all out, you see.
That's fine. So basically, Harry's come in and he is absolutely brutalised me for 5 minutes non-stop. You're f***ing this, you're a disgrace, you youngsters. You think you pissed, thinking you can play. And to be fair, mate, I could hear half of it, but the other half I was just oblivious to.
Oh, just trying to stay.
So I'm trying to look at the boss. And behind him, I'm seeing Keith Rowland, and I'm seeing a couple other boys Jamie and that, laughing their heads off. And I'm trying to keep it straight. Of course, I'm a straight face because he's battering me. So anyway, we went back to Bournemouth then, and then obviously I had a twinge in my ankle. And then they had to put so I was staying behind. Everybody else had the summer off.
Okay.
So Jamie's called me and he said, Neil, do you want to come up to the house? And I was like, not really, Jamie. I said, your dad's going to cane me again or sack me.
Yeah.
And then, so I went to Jamie's, played a bit of snooker and stuff. And his mum, Sandra, fantastic person, made us a bit of grub and that there. Next thing, the front door goes. Harry's walked in. I thought, Jamie, I have to go, mate. Can you sneak me out the back door or something? He said, you'll be fine. Dad's all right. It's just, you'll learn by it. So anyway, I had the food and stuff, and then I've got to go back to my digs back in Bournemouth. So Harry said, I'll drop you down. I'm thinking, all right, yeah, no problem, bring it on. Yeah. So I'm thinking, I'm done here. I'm going to get sent home. So on the way back in the car, he said, Neil, I had to do it. I had to. You're young players, you've got to learn by this. It's the standards that we set, but learn by it. Come back after pre-season fully fit. You've got a great opportunity. You've got a lot of quality, son. Show me. And that's all I need to hear, Johnny.
Yeah.
So that was the first rally game. But
first insight to sort of man management, isn't it? And sort of like psychology and how he would play you and different things like that. But that's probably why he's up there.
But they were both express yourself, and Tony's got a different type of mentality. I think he's very hard headed. He's a hard coach.
Okay.
But he makes his players want to run through brick walls, to be honest with you. And if you don't give him 100%, you're out the door. Yeah, there's no messing about with Tony. But Tony was phenomenal for me, right from the start. He believed in me. He pushed me. We had pre-seasons where I was training 3 to 4 sessions a day. So whenever we came to the first game of the season, I was flying. Yeah, I was flying, but it was hard. It was mentally tough with Tony. But I appreciate him giving me the opportunity to show, and then obviously towards the end of it to get my next move.
One of the things I want to talk to you about is obviously Tony and all these people are massive people who probably have the most amount of influence on you. But a lot of things that I've heard through the research that I do and different bits and pieces, you were a bit of like how's the nicest way to say this, but a bit of a teacher's pet. Tony's young lad as such. And we have them all. I would say I was one of David's at the time when I was at Ballymena, and I got away with probably murder at times when I probably shouldn't have, but David knew how to manage me as a person. But I'm sure that you probably had something similar with Tony from what I've heard.
Wouldn't go that far, Johnny, to be fair. But to be fair, you're probably right as well. Okay. I think to be honest with you, I just think that the fact that he believed in me.
Okay.
I think we had a good tone. He knew what it was about. He told me early that if you focus on different areas of your game, the mental bit of your game, I'll make you into a player. You'll be a Premiership player. He's always on my back. He was always positive. But Tony was a little bit... There's some times where he'd read in the newspaper after a game, oh, Neil was fantastic, and I'm thinking, I was average today.
Yeah.
I was nowhere near it. But that was just the way he was. That's just the way he was. At the end of my career, in my last 3 years at Gillingham, obviously due to my knee injuries and stuff like that there, I felt a little bit embarrassed because I couldn't show the fans, the club and Tony what it was really about.
Yeah.
Get that full potential, get me on the pitch and stuff. But at the end of the day, Tony, even when I was like half a knee left, I was still going out there and playing.
Yeah.
For Tony. But teacher's pet, I probably would have thought so. I didn't.
Yeah. It's not bad.
I think in a good way, yeah.
It is.
He never let me settle.
Yeah.
Tony would never let you settle. For like mid standards, he'd always push you all the time.
I wouldn't say being a I wouldn't say being a teacher's pet as such, or like a blue-eyed boy type thing of someone is a bad thing, but I feel like from my own experiences of probably having that relationship with someone, it actually makes it harder for you to let them down in a way, if that makes sense. It's because you're like, you have so much love for them and they have so much love for you, where you feel like that you physically can't drop your standard then.
I think in the early doors as well, because we were staying at, Harry had a house there, and there were 6 or 7 of us staying there, and that was chaos, mate. That was just... There's some like stories that I just can't...
digs?
Oh, that was my dig. So Harry put 7 of us in his house that he had, and that was carnage, mate. That was just not right, I swear. But I'll not go into that too much.
Okay.
But and then Tony took over the house.
Okay.
So and me and another guy called Dave Morris, one of my friends, we stayed there. So it was like the little bit of Tony's pet was probably there, because we were staying there. He was driving us into pre-season training every time, and obviously Tony's wife and kids were there, fantastic, and I felt part of the family. Tony, he always made me feel part of the family, and I think over the years, especially before I joined Wolves, he was like a bit of a father figure towards me. Yeah, but in a good way, in a hard way.
Well, it's probably something, not to go into too much, but it's probably something that you need to consider when you're such a young kid who moved to England. It's not very easy because you have no family there. Do you know what I mean? You've just been put on a plane. You're getting to live out your dream as a professional footballer, but you've no real guidance bar a phone call back home. Do you know what I mean? And how many times is your parents coming over? Most people probably couldn't afford to fly back and forward every week or every month, even to see games. So maybe he realised that's the best way for him to get the best out of you.
I think I was lucky in Bournemouth. I stayed with a family in Bournemouth. Bob and Tina and Joe and Ben. And they were phenomenal for me. Yes, they kept my feet in the ground. I was just breaking into the first team. And when I was going out, I was playing well. And every week I was just constantly, more clubs started to get interested and stuff. But they bring me back down to earth. Okay. With the kids and everything. And that was fantastic for me.
Were they fans?
And I missed Tony and I missed Bob and Tina when I went to Wolves.
Right, okay.
Because I didn't have that back when I got injured at Wolves. I didn't have that, who to speak to. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Who's going to comfort me? Who could I talk to? Who could I be a little bit open about? And then suddenly I felt really alone. To be honest, okay. From that.
I still think that that's probably a massive gap in football right now. Whereas people who are long-term injuries or have to isolate themselves away from family members or even friends for that matter, I think it's something that I've had. Luckily, well, I wouldn't say luckily. No one likes getting injured, and luckily I've done my knee twice, which isn't that lucky at the same time. Mm-hmm. But what I'm saying is, you end up getting into a certain place where you don't want to be a burden to someone, but you need the help, and then you also need the guidance. And mine happened over COVID, so I kind of had my mum and dad for a week or two, and then I didn't want to take up their space in the house, and I moved down to my wee house in Lauren. And then you're sitting by yourself, and you're sitting going like, what am I doing? Like, why am I here by myself with no weights, no gym? Can't go out, can't drive home. It's pointless. Whereas if you're in a different country, I could think that would be so much worse, whereas mine's a 20-minute drive to Belfast.
Yeah, I think that's the other basic chapter of my life, to be honest with you, Johnny.
Injuries,
aye.
Well, we spoke about this at the start, and it's somewhere, but I want you to kind of get into as much as possible and how it's probably affected you the most. But I think you said you had 14 surgeries. Is that right? 14.
Not easy.
It's a wild number.
First time really spoke about it, to be honest.
Right, okay.
I think obviously it all kicked off at Wolves.
Right, okay.
When I went there. Funny enough, I was in the first team, playing well, doing really well. We played against West Brom in a TV game on the Saturday. Had a blinder. Probably one of my best games for Wolves.
Yeah.
And Ron Atkinson was on one of the guest panelists, and he was saying, "What's that left back doing? He can't do that. He's not getting." I was thinking, "Cheers, mate. Thanks, thanks for that." I was thinking I was all right, like, but I played the game. You talk about a high and a low in the space of a short period of time. Obviously, played the game. The next day, I phoned my dad up. Well played, son. Felt a twinge at the back of my knee.
Okay.
Didn't think nothing. Just saw him tired after the last game. Then on Monday, it seized up a bit on me, and went in. Graham Taylor was the manager, and said to him, "Gaffer, I've got pain in the back of my knee. I think it's going to be all right. Just need to jog it off." Or tried jogging, couldn't jog. Then come into the physio's room, and one of the other first team members, Andy Thompson, was in there, the right back. And Graham Taylor came flying in. He says, there's brutal, Johnny. He was like, get off that bench. And I was like, what's he just said? He says, there's all wrong with you. Get off that bench. And I was like, I'm lying on the bench, flat down, face down. Didn't say anything. And I thought, wow. So I said, all right, I'll show you. I'll train tomorrow. Tried training the next day. Still couldn't sprint on my leg. He wouldn't speak to me or anything, and went back into the physio. So the physio said, all right, we'll get a scan on it. Showed a slight tear in my cartilage. So he said, but you'll be back in 3 weeks. So I was fine. Monday morning came. Graham Taylor's walked in with a letter. All the boys were eating dinner and stuff there, and he's gone, Neil, you've got, this is for you, son. Congratulations. And I'm thinking, congratulations? What for? So I opened the letter, and it was a call-up for Northern Ireland.
Right, okay.
Against Portugal.
Oh.
So I spoke to Brian Hamilton on the phone, who was the manager. He says, going to play against Portugal, Figo.
No, I was trying to think back there.
I'm thinking, thanks, mate. Could you not get me Kazakhstan away or something like that?
So ease my way in for my first.
So my first two call-ups were Portugal and Germany.
Right, okay.
So I was thinking, why not?
Yeah,
bring it on.
Absolutely.
Bring it on. So it was pride and all.
Must have been on top of the world at this.
All the boys were cheering. First thing I thought about was my dad, my brother. They'd be proud. No, mum would be proud. No, and just I thought that's what I want.
Yeah,
that's the pinnacle for me, to play for my country. I played youth international and stuff, but this is the big one. Yeah, this is what I want.
Absolutely.
So Johnny, the next day I went in and still had a bit of problems with my knee, and then they sent me for a scan and said it needs a bit of keyhole on it, but you 3 weeks and you're back. And I thought, all right, 3 weeks, get back, no problems. And had the operation. 2 days later, the surgeon said, I just want you to do some leg raises, jog a little bit, no heavy weights, don't put anything through the knee just for the first week. So I think it was day 3, and of course I'm going to listen to the physios. They're there to do the job.
Professionals at this stage.
Professionals at this stage, mate. And then within a space of 10 minutes in that morning, 3 days after my operation, my life changed. My career changed. Had me lifting 40 kilograms weights and my knee blew up after 5 minutes. And I'm sitting there thinking, what's going on? Why? Why is this? His face just went white.
Yeah.
When it happened. And then I find myself, it was a few weeks later, going in and getting a third of my patellar tendon scraped away. And after I had that operation, I kind of knew Johnny. Because I'm quite a big build. Power is my game, whether it's bombing forward, and the amount of power that goes through my knee when I hit a ball, because I could smash a ball.
Yeah,
I'm hitting the ball probably at full pace, 85, 90 mile an hour, time after time a game. And then I had the operation, came back, and I'm thinking, okay, just get my head down, get fit under the physios, and then I came back again. And then on my first session back, we drove the bus down to training, excited, back in action again. And we just signed John de Wolf at the time.
Yeah.
From Feyenoord.
Mm-hmm.
Fantastic player.
Yeah.
And so we went on the training pitch, done a full session. At the end of the session, I just started feeling pain in my knee. And then went on the bus. Wolfie sat there, Darren Ferguson and stuff, and Simon Osborne, and I sat beside Wolfie, and I said, Wolfie, I can't get up. He said, what's wrong? I said, I can't move. He said, what? At that time, I'm not an emotional guy, too much, Johnny, to be fair. I keep a lot in, and I've had to do that since I was 15. But at that moment, I burst.
Yeah.
I hit my head, and the tears were streaming, because I knew something was wrong here. Something seriously wrong with my knee. And so Wolfie goes, it's all right, mate, calm down, you'll be okay. And then we arrived back at the stadium, and I said, John, I can't get off the bus. So he helped me up, and try to keep a straight face because you don't like to show too much emotion in front of your fellow players and stuff. I walked into the physio and I said, my knee, what do I do? And then back in again, another surgery, stripped away another third, basically, of my patella tendon. And at that time, Johnny, I'm thinking, okay, where do I go from this?
So it's kind of like a daunting thing here to have the conversation with, because it's like you've just had like ultimate highs. You've obviously, not only have you got the call from Northern, but you've obviously got the sign for Wolves. Do you know what I mean? Which is a huge club. Do you know what I mean? And then this has kind of happened, and you're thinking, right, the first one, okay, no problem. And then it's just kind of knocked you again after. It's what I'm trying to piece together is the amount of effort it takes to kind of come back, knowing what you kind of put into yourself to get yourself back on the pitch from the initial injury, and then to think that that's gone, same thing, and I have to do it all over again, and then the mental side of it.
The mental side of it is like, before, Johnny, you couldn't really talk about mental health.
100%.
When I was playing, you never talked about it. Nobody in the change room.
It's like it didn't exist.
That didn't exist whatsoever. There was no help for you at the club.
Yeah.
No psychiatrist you can maybe speak to or have a few words with. Club tried their best. Don't get me wrong. I think the physios in the club, they were great towards me.
Well, I'm sure, because it's basically their fault.
But the damage had been done.
Yeah.
Whenever I'd done that injury for the first time, when my knee blew up, got my first Northern Ireland call up. Apparently, there was 2 or 3 clubs that were going to buy me from Wolves.
Okay.
At the time, which I found out
later on
when I had the surgery.
Yeah.
When my knee had gone, and that was life changing for me, because then you're talking substantial amounts of money. You're talking 20 grand a week, 30 grand a week in 1996, 97.
Yeah.
Which is like that. That's life. But when you look back in hindsight, you can always do that. The current day, I've got 2 fantastic sons that are my life. I've got a good family. I've got my brother. Do you know what I mean? He's been a rock for me as well, and his kids and stuff like that there. And I've got a few good friends. So I still look at the positives, but it still eats away with me about what I had to suffer and go through.
Yeah, it's difficult to think at how somebody in a professional setup like that can give you such bad advice. And it's not.
I think my point, Johnny, is not to come on a podcast to throw people under a bus.
No, definitely.
But for me, it's like I've had this hidden for so many years.
Yeah.
The way I've been brought up by my mum and dad, I respect people. I don't want to sue football clubs.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, it's affected my life so much, in a mental health wise, in a personal wise.
Longevity. You look at your career and where it potentially could have went to, and as you've touched on there slightly, the loss of earnings that you could have had, like, it is life changing. That does help people. And
then I think the end of the Wolves, I think it was transfer deadline day. Martin McGee was the manager, and I'd played a couple of reserve games, and he felt okay, not great. Managed to get through a couple of games. Tony came on the phone, Tony Pulis.
Okay.
And he said that we've accepted a bid from Gillingham. And I thought, Tony, if there's one person that can resurrect my career, it's Tony Pulis.
Okay.
I trust him 100%. So they've accepted the bid, but I didn't want to leave Wolves. I thought, I've got a point to prove here. I want to show the fans, the club, that I'm not just always injured, but I knew at the time and he was struggling. So, and Mark McGee said, I will give you this here if you leave. And basically I just didn't even get to say goodbye, nothing.
Just give you a pay up and told you.
Just get into my car and just drove down to Gillingham in tears.
Right.
On tears in one hand, but on the other hand, maybe Tony can resurrect my career.
I'd see, as you're playing games for Wolves at this stage, like, you obviously do a lot to come back for the 3rd time since the second operation. What is your knee like? And mentally, how are you compared to where you were with no injuries? Like, subconsciously, there's going to be some sort of deviant inside your head that means that you can't do what you fully want to do.
I knew my knee wasn't good. Did I think it was finished? No. I never accepted that.
Okay.
That it was finished. No. If I had the slightest option or slightest percentage that I'm going to play again, I'll play. I don't care what it takes. I spent months and months in rehab, morning, noon and night. But it was mentally draining to go and watch the team play week in, week out. And I'm not involved. That's what I love to do, Johnny.
Yeah.
Football's my life, mate. I love every aspect of the game. Whether it's, I watch games of football and I love it more now than ever.
Oh, really?
I miss it as well.
Yeah.
I miss it as well. But I knew my knee was not good when I went to Gillingham. My what do you call it? When you have your medical. I had to build up my knee for 3 months before I could play. That's when they signed me. And then after that, then it was just a catalogue of back and forward. And then I got severe pain. And then the most brutal day came against Brentford.
Talk to me about Brentford.
Played the game, 20 minutes gone. I'd played a reserve game the week before. My knee was in agony. It wasn't good. Told the manager, but I played the game, got through it.
And is this at Gillingham? Yeah.
This is at Gillingham, yeah. And then I played against Brentford at home. 25 minutes gone, the ball's been played across, and as a defender, you open yourself up, and then you're just going to clip it down the line or in the channel in the front man. As it turned, I've clipped it, and I felt a big, massive crunch. And I thought somebody's hit me from the side. So I've turned around, there's nobody there. Thinking, what's going on? Look down, and my kneecaps up my knee, and the bottom half of my kneecaps at the bottom of my knee. So obviously I'd snapped my patella tendon.
Clean off?
Clean off. Not in half, clean off. Do you remember like the Ronaldo injury?
Yeah.
He tore his. I snapped mine. So I'm lying on the pitch. One of my mates came over. He said, "Are you all right?" And I said, "Have a look at that." And he had to turn. He had to turn. So I was lying on the ground. There's no doctor at the game.
At a Gillingham game?
No.
There's no...
No.
Right.
So Tony Pulis has come out of the stand with 4 others on a metal barrier and carried me off the pitch. Put me into the treatment room. First thing I said to Tony on the stretcher on the way out, "Tony, I'm done. I don't think I'm going to play again." He says, "Calm down, son." He said, "Calm down, you'll be all right." Then they took me to the hospital. I heard afterwards that they took me to the wrong hospital.
Right.
It's a bit funny as well, Johnny. It's not, but it's not all doom and gloom. I've went into the hospital.
Manager
I went into
you
the
up.
hospital, mate, right? And they've put me in one of the corridors.
Right.
So I'm still in my Gillingham kit with half a knee covered. Of course, they don't want to kill children to suffer when they come and see it. People walking past, "All right, Neil, how's it going?" "Aye, fine, mate." So I'm sat out there for an hour.
Did they give you any sort of like
No,
painkillers or
nothing.
anything? You think you would be sucking gas nerves?
I thought
Kinda
it would
keep your
be.
head
I
straight, like.
thought, yeah, but it was so severe, the injury, that it basically snapped all the nerves in half a knee as well.
So you didn't feel anything? Well, you did, but obviously...
I did feel a bit of discomfort.
But I said to start...
Just a wee bit, aye. But, and then the doctor took me in and he said that, "Neil, we got good news and bad news." I'm thinking, good news? I said, "What good news is coming out of this?" He said, "Well, I think he can play again. But the bad news is I don't know how long it's going to take." And for me, Johnny, that was enough for me.
Yeah.
That gave me that little bit of hope that, right, I'm not giving up.
Right, okay.
Come on then, do what you want to do. So he's got 2 options. We either put a plate in, sew it together, you have a long cast on it, or you have a short cast. I'm hoping for the short one.
As in, like, long cast, are you talking toe to hip?
Toe to hip.
You're stuck.
Toe to hip.
You went toe to hip,
and I'm thinking, this body doesn't need that, mate. So I woke up the next day after, had the operation, cleaned my knee out. So I've got the blanket, lifting up the blanket, I'm like, oh, it's a big one.
Stuck.
Got the big one on.
Yeah.
But I thought, okay, get myself out of there. A couple of boys come up to the hospital, which was nice. Visited me at home a couple of times, and then that was it. It was quiet. Yeah. And then it was hard times. It really kicked home. But I thought to myself, do you know what? I'm not going to give up. And one of my reasons to come on this podcast as well is to tell these kids that there is help out there.
Yeah.
Don't give up. Don't give up. Don't be quiet. Talk to people.
Yeah.
Get the help that you need. Don't feel embarrassed about it. And that's got to come from the trainers. That's got to come from the coaches. You've got to look after these boys. They're people. Whether it's a girl or a boy, they're people. They've got futures ahead of them. So anyway, so I've sewed my knee up, went back, and then that period there, Johnny was at Gillingham, was out in my crutches every day, doing 10k, my hands blistered, blooded.
You're doing 10k on crutches?
Yeah. Yeah.
How long are you in crutches
just
for?
to battle myself, just to give myself a goal. Started off with 1K, 2K,
That's
3K.
psychotic too, isn't it?
Oh, but I had to, Johnny. I had to just to keep myself on a level playing field because I was broken.
Yeah.
I was a broken man, mate. Didn't have anybody around me. And I don't blame him as well because it probably wouldn't have been nice to be around.
Probably, yeah.
I was a nice guy, but at the end of the day, it's like...
You're just down, aren't you?
I'm down, mate. So I'm walking these crutches and I am all times of the day. I'm in tears, mate. I'm in pain.
Yeah.
My hands and stuff, but it's not gonna beat me.
It's a lot, isn't it? Because I'm thinking, like, for somebody to be at that level, it takes a lot. And we talk about kids, there's a slight percentage that anybody's actually going to make it. And then when you do make it, how hard it is to stay there. And then in today's day and age with the medical resources that people have, like, a doctor's not a big thing. Like, each club has to have a doctor at the ground. Like, so for something so small to be able to help you at that time is not there. It's like, that's so stupid in a way that your manager has to kind of carry you off the pitch, and then they have the process of getting you into another surgery and starting again. It just sounds so wild and bizarre that that's actually something that can happen. Well, it probably can't happen now, but then...
No, I couldn't believe it, Johnny. And then obviously had the surgery, recovering, and obviously we've got the playoff final
Okay.
at Gillingham.
And who's this against?
Manchester City.
Oh, so is this the one where they go up
This
and then they kind of kickstart themselves again?
I've never experienced a day like it in my life.
Okay.
I've never been on such a high or such a low in the space of one day in my life. So you've got the day before, we're in a fancy hotel, we're in London, playing at Wembley.
Yeah.
Boys are buzzing, full house, 69,000.
Sure. Yeah.
And we're in good form. We fancy our chances with you.
Are you still hip to toe here?
I'm
Are you wheelchair still?
Yeah, it's taken me 4 hours to walk around the pitch, mate. To be fair, but Tony's let me come. I've got suited.
Okay.
Bit extra.
Did you get a flare on one leg and then a
Oh,
scoop?
yeah. Big time, man. Big time. But the funniest thing, Johnny, I know, I look back at it now and it's like, Tony was brilliant. So I went on the pitch before the game with the players, the atmosphere. He let me just grasp
Absorb it all.
Yeah, it was.
But you deserve it. You're part of the team.
It was,
Do you know that?
it was phenomenal, but I didn't feel part of the team because I wasn't playing.
Yeah, well,
You do,
as a player, you get
as
that,
a player,
yeah.
I want to be able to give this, but hopefully I give them a little bit when I spoke to the players before the game. And then we went out, had the warm up and stuff. The stadium's filled. The noise is unbelievable.
yeah, I'm sure.
So anyway, referee's blowing his whistle. Boys are heading out the tunnel. I'm behind them. But of course, because of my name, it takes me a bit longer to get round. And in Wembley, it's a gravel all around the pitch.
Right, okay.
So I'm going even more slower. Honestly, mate, you can walk backwards quicker than I was going forwards. So I'm going round, mate, and suddenly the national anthem starts and I can't get them a seat. So I'm stood in the middle of the gravel at the edge of the pitch, arms behind the back. They're singing the both teams lined up and I'm thinking, this is class. I've got everybody watching
Just
you.
watching you. You're stuck.
Stuck, mate. Stuck. And then the game tells its own story.
Yeah.
It was the most mental game of football I've seen. We were 2-0 up, 5 minutes to go. They get a penalty. And then they score in the 5th minute. Where he got the 5 minutes from, I'll never know.
Yeah.
And then that was the most devastating I've ever seen in a changing room.
Yeah.
Honestly, it was heartbreaking.
Well, you know that
Heartbreaking.
you get into the 85th minute of a game, 2-0 up, you're sitting going, we've done it. Like you're thinking going, we're prem, that's us. We're sweet. We getting promoted here. That's us. Play us.
No.
And then all of a sudden, football's so cruel, isn't it? It just changes.
And then went to penalties, and then obviously...
Penalties is the worst way to go out, isn't it?
I
for you?
think-
Especially if you're drained mentally.
But I think it's even more gutting, Johnny, whenever you have to watch it and not playing it.
Well, true.
So I was sat beside Barry Fry. Do you remember him? The character from Peterborough and stuff.
Yeah.
And I was watching the game with him, and he was a Gillingham supporter. He was going mental. He was a laugh a minute, that guy.
Yeah.
But when they won the game, I went back in the change room, mate, and players were locking themselves in the toilet. It was devastating. It was devastating for the boys. But Tony was phenomenal after the game.
Okay.
Yeah,
What's the difference there?
He's top.
How do you manage a dressing room when you know that everybody's pretty much in their boots?
Johnny, they give everything. Every single player over the whole course of the season. And we're talking about the 11, we're talking about the 18, we're talking about the whole squad. Every single ounce they've given, week in, week out. Tony said, I'm proud of you boys, we go again. We go again. You've been different class, you didn't get what you deserved today. We go again. Next year, they went back to Wembley and won.
Yeah.
Shows you the mentality of that group.
What was that like for you though?
Devastating.
Because
after that summer, and obviously I'm still on the road to recovery, and I actually went to Norway for some treatment. It was like fluid treatment just to help my circulation, get rid of if there's like swellings and stuff in my body. So it's quite intense. Okay. So I got the opportunity to go to Norway.
And is this through Gillingham?
No, this is myself. And I said to the club, can I go? They said, yeah, no problem. Just make sure you come back fit, ready to go. So I came back, Johnny. Came back to Gillingham. Went to the training ground. Physio comes up, he goes, get on the scales. I said, yeah, no problem. I think it was about 1.5 pounds overweight for when I went over. Had my fluid treatment, came back again. Got called in the manager's office later on in the afternoon, Peter Taylor.
So he's away. So Pulis is gone.
Yep, he's gone. Peter Taylor's taken over.
Okay.
And he pulled me in the office and he says, Robert, we're going to let you go. I said, excuse me. He says, yeah, you've come back a little bit overweight. I said, I've just gone for treatment. I said, I'm working 3 times a day to get fit. Nah, sorry. Walked out of the club, got my bag, drove back home to my house. And then suddenly, Johnny, I got no contract.
Yeah.
I'm on my knees, mate. I'm back home. I'm like, what do I do now?
So did you initially have no contract into that season, or did you have a year left?
No, they were just paying me basically month per month, and I appreciated them
kind of helping you through.
Yeah, of course I appreciate everything I get.
Yeah.
And then in the space of a day, mate, I had nothing. And then the assistant manager said, Neela, I have to come around and pick up the car. Okay. So I had no car and nothing. That was it.
Gillingham done. Such a big shock to come back thinking like I have an opportunity to, I've went and put all this time in to get somewhere, and then you don't even get to try.
And then the funny thing happens, Johnny, after that is that I got a phone call from Norway, my friends in Norway. I went to Norway in 91. Harry sent me there in the summer. Right. As a 17-year-old, Johnny, and you're going to laugh at this, mate. Right.
I've heard about this where he had a connection there today. I've listened to a few podcasts, and I think he used to send a couple of kids over to like random places, and I think it was Norway. Are you one of the people who there was like 2 or 3 you went at the one time?
Two of us went at the same time. So Harry's pulled me in. He goes, Neil, you need games in the summer. I said, no problem, boss. Where am I going? He says, oh, you're going to Norway. I said, all right. Thinking to myself, where's Norway? Wasn't the best at school, Johnny. I'm thinking geography. Norway. Where's near Spain, isn't it?
Hoping.
I'm hoping. So I've gone home after that. I said, yeah, no problem. I'll go over for a couple of months and then come back pre-season, raring, fighting to go. Yeah. So I've got a little bit of jump in the other ones. So I've gone home, looked at the map. I can't find Norway. And then I'm suddenly like that. I'm thinking, oh, okay. Snow. I says Baltic.
Yeah.
So I went to Norway for 3 months, 25 degrees every day. Completely different type of football.
Yeah.
Technical, lower paced. They don't tackle for half an hour over there.
Right, okay. Fair enough.
So it didn't really suit me because I wanted to smash everything, to be fair. Yeah. And I went over there for 3 months and came back. So that was my first taste of Norway.
Yeah.
So
it's probably a nice taste considering they get the season,
it is.
You know?
I got some really good friends there and stuff. And then obviously after the Gillingham thing, again, I battled myself back. Got to a space where I felt okay to train again. I got a phone call from Norway. Do you want to come over for a week and train with us? And they were in the top division in Norway, a team called Moss.
Okay.
So they said to me, do you want to come over? I said, yeah, it'd be great. So I went over, seen some friends, and I was trained for a week. And after a week, my first week training back in months and months, they offered me a 3-year deal.
Okay.
So I thought to myself, okay, I'll stay there for a year, build myself up, and then go back again. Uh-huh. So I ended up staying there in my first day of pre-season. I had the flu, 40 fever, and they made me do a fitness test, and I tore my complete thigh muscle out for a year, just like that. And I thought to myself, Neil,
God struck you there, but he took it away from you, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. And then obviously I met my ex-wife at the time, and we had 2 beautiful sons, and my responsibility was to stay there, Johnny. But the deep hard truth is that it's been, the mental health part has been, it's been difficult right from back in the days where the Wolverhampton.
Right.
It has been easy away from me. I haven't really spoke to too many people about it. And the worst thing sometimes is whenever you ask for help and you don't get it, because it takes a lot to even ask for it. And that's why I think more's got to be done. I think right from the top, I think it's a lot better now.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's still near enough of what these kids deserve. Whether it's if they get injured after football, if they've got mental problems, whatever it is, anxiety, the clubs have got to look after them.
Well, you say it kind of stems from your time at Wolves, but how does it initially start for you? And what sort of brings it upon you where, as you say, you've asked for help, and what do you mean by you haven't got it?
I think the initial depression started at Wolves.
Okay.
I think when I got that first long-term injury and when my knee and stuff, I wasn't ready for that, because I was on a wave, Johnny.
Yeah.
I thought, I'm going to play for Northern Ireland, 50 to 100 caps. I'm going to play Premier League football. My life's brilliant. I'm going to be financially secure forever. And I think just that shock, I went into a deep hole. I really went into a deep hole.
Did you change as a person, do you think?
I think definitely. I think mental health, I think it affects the ones that love you. Okay. I think I look at the great people that I've had around me, the great women I've had around me. I think my ex-wife, fantastic person, but was I the husband that I really wanted to be deep inside? Probably not. Probably not. I kind of just, you go in, depression for me is when you go into a bubble, when you kind of lock yourself away from things. You kind of push away people. You kind of, it's very hard to describe. It is an illness. It is something that you have to go and talk to people about. Yep. By me coming on today, Johnny, it's not easy, but it's important for me as well. I want to get that message across. That depression is horrible. I've lived with it now for 20 years. Do I want pity? No. Did I come on here for pity? Never. Never asked for pity in my life. Yeah. Never will do. But I just feel like I need to give something back now, Johnny. I really do. Really do, mate.
In terms of giving back, what is it you're looking to do? Because you're coaching. You've been coaching, you've been managing, you've been doing analysis, you've been doing all these different things. So
I love everything to do with the game.
Okay.
I love coaching. I love player development. I think it's the best to see. If you've got a squad of 20, they're 20 different people. Man management, I don't see enough of it. I see good coaches. I see coaches that textbook coaches, but you've got to have the personality. You've got to treat these players as people. You've got to understand them. You've got to talk to them. And I love that part of the game. When I was an assistant manager, player development, I just feel like giving back for me is that a dream for me is I would love to work for the IFA.
Okay.
I would love to come back home and give something back here where it all started for me.
Yeah.
And that is, even if that's going around clubs, talking to the young players, talking to the parents. How many clubs talk to the parents? Because it's their son or daughter that's playing.
I think their son or daughter,
they go through it.
The other end.
Yeah. But instead of the parents shouting and screaming and wanting my son, my daughter should be doing, no. Nip it in the bud. Have that early meeting with the parents. Speak to them. Be there for them if they've got any questions. Because it's their son or daughter. If they get injured, what are they doing? What do the PFA, what do the IFA do if you do get injured? Have they set up a plan where you are insured for these kids? I wasn't insured, Johnny. I never got any advice. And I think for me, I would love to do that because that would get, one, it's giving back. Even if I help one person, or hopefully I'll help a lot more, thousands and stuff like that there.
Yeah.
But I would love to work for the PFA on the mental side of things. And hopefully with the experience and the ups and downs that I've gone through, then I would be a good acquisition, and I think that would help my life as well.
I think that where you're looking at isn't very far off of what can happen, I don't think, but in terms of doing it here in such a part-time, what's the best way to say, part-time area, like clubs are only starting to go full-time now, which means that there's probably not that massive influx of money, but for you, who's somebody who's played at all these massive clubs, they're probably roles that happen quite frequently in England. And yeah. I know that you're saying about, and this is just personally coming from me, is sometimes like you have the contacts, why don't you use them? Because you have hundreds of celebrity mates, and you've been coached by the best people, and some of your best mates are pundits and Sky and working in all these massive clubs, and there's bound to be roles and responsibilities that would tie into exactly what you're looking to do. But why don't you just ask the question?
It's a great point. It's a great point. When my son's telling me to get out there, it means a bit more. When my son sees that I'm maybe not my happiest space, my two boys, it's hard to take because they're my pride and joy. I love being a father. When it comes to when you're in depression, it's hard to ask for help. It's hard to ask for a favour. I don't want to bother. It's like you say, you do feel a burden when you're depressed. You don't want to bother people. You want the best for other people, but you forget about yourself. I think with speaking to you, Johnny, it's opened my eyes a little bit. And I really appreciate it. And that is the fact that it's not just about asking favours about my contacts. It's about a win-win situation.
100%.
It's something that you do him a favour, I do you a favour. You don't always want something in return. But it's like you say Northern Ireland's a small area. For me, of course, you have to live. You got to pay your bills and everything, but I want to really give something back home. I really do. But at the same time, if I do get the opportunity, but I've got to reach out myself. I've got to take responsibility myself, and I haven't done that, Johnny.
Well, don't want to be rude here and say that you've kind of isolated yourself for 24 years, but you've sort of isolated yourself for 24 years. Not to be rude. Like,
you know, it's like a vicious circle. Is it a disease? Yeah. Do I know how to handle it? No. When you ask for help and you don't get it, what do? I'm glad I'm here.
Me too.
I'm glad I'm here, mate. I'm glad I've took this step to do this. And I want to get better. I want to give something back. I want to do something. I've got too much in me.
Okay.
Honestly, mate, I've got too much in me. I love the game too much as well. I'm a good man, but I need to start acting on it. And like you said now, I feel this is a step in the right direction for me. And I appreciate it more than you know. Well, I really do. But on the other hand, now I've got to get out there. I've got to get out there. Do I think I'm one of the best at what I do? Yeah, without a shadow of a doubt. Without a shadow. I love it. I love it. But it's up to myself now. I want to get out there. I want to be something to a club, to the country, for example. But you take step by step, whatever level. Nah. Is it about the money? Nah. It's about me getting my life back again.
And what about your sons?
Them too.
They're going to come with you? They're going to stay?
No, they've got their lives sorted.
What do they do?
My son Christopher. He's my stepson, but I've never called him that in my life. He's my boy.
Cool.
He's my son. He's the best thing ever. And he's given me a grandchild.
Okay.
And he's going to give me another one in April.
Okay, great.
And them two keep me going, mate.
Good.
They keep me going. He works for a TV company now, and Norway just qualified for the World Cup in the first time in 26 years. So he is buzzing. His budget's just gone right through the roof. So he's doing great. He's doing great. And then we've got James, 21. Wee footballer.
Is he playing?
He can play.
Okay.
I don't say that too many times, but
that tough love.
Yeah, he's got a good mentality about him, and
good.
He wants to play for Northern Ireland. I don't think the Norwegians will be happy now, but he said to me, Dad, if I get the opportunity in Northern Ireland or Norway, Northern Ireland.
Yeah,
I said, good on you, mate.
That.
Good on you.
100%.
So he was over at the Liverpool Academy for a year. Really enjoyed it. Came back to Norway. He's playing at a decent level now, but hopefully he'll kick on now.
Yeah.
But for me, it's not putting pressure on him, Johnny. It's about I want him to enjoy his football.
Yeah.
Wherever it takes him, it'll take him. Do you know what I mean? It's not... But he's a fantastic boy. My boys, they're good boys.
Yeah.
They're kind, they're respectful, and that's important to me.
Well, you've still managed the raising part, right?
Oh, it's like my mum and dad, the best mum and dad in the world.
Yeah.
dad, he was football mad. His best mate was Danny Blanchflower.
Right, okay. God, I remember playing at that wee stadium a couple of times. It's now the Welders.
And I was like, Dad, he used to talk about all the football stories and stuff like that there, and it was brilliant for me. It was like an education when I was younger.
Yeah.
And when he spoke about the boy Blanchflower, he was a bit special.
Yeah.
He was the Tottenham captain. He lifted the FA Cup, and then in Danny Blanchflower's book, he mentioned my father, and it was really nice.
Okay.
And then obviously when my dad passed, if I'm correctly, I think Linfield and Cliftonville, they had a minute's silence. And for me, that was a massive bit of respect.
Yeah.
And then on my dad's funeral, there was over 300 people there. We thought there maybe be 30, all over all the different Irish League clubs and stuff. So it was really nice. A lot of respect for him. He was a quiet man, but a football man.
I'm hoping that happens for me now because I've had so many clubs. Get a lot of the funeral.
You've had a few clubs.
I've had a few clubs.
I've done my research as well.
So might have a few people there.
And you love that,
maybe.
You love that cup winning goal as well.
Well, here we don't have to talk about
That's
that.
absolutely legendary, mate. To be honest,
it
can't be all about me, mate.
We'll not end the podcast on a really big high, you know. But listen, no, it's absolutely been incredible to have you on, have the conversations with you, and obviously, I say this all the time, and it's people's careers like yours who still give me the motivation to kind of have these conversations because it's a complete unknown to me. Like you've got to live through all these different people who I can only hear about on TV, and you should be really proud to be in the position that you're in, to be able to relay these conversations, have them on podcasts. And
well, I think the brilliant thing for me, Johnny, is it's nice to open up. It's nice to talk about the things.
Yeah, well, it's nice to
it's been chopped in on me all the time. It's like they're great memories. I look back. Yeah, there's a lot of hard regrets. There is, but you can't take away. I remember the time I played against Arsenal one weekend, three days later, and playing against Man City. Mark and Ian Wright, Dennis Bergkamp, Ray Parler, Tony Adams. Dennis Bergkamp's dancing around the ball. I'm 20 seconds just trying to get the ball off him. But playing at that level was just phenomenal.
Yeah,
it really was, and I'll treasure them moments. But the fact for me now is it's been an honour to be on your show.
Yeah,
thank you for it, and hopefully my message can get out to a few people. And just don't give up, kids. Live your dream.
I have no doubt that it won't. I have no doubt that people listening to it will definitely resonate with everything that you've said, and especially for kids who listen to it who want to make it. It's not all plain sailing. Some people have fantastic careers where they don't get any injuries, and other people are bogged down by them at times, and it's kind of how resilient you need to be to continue to be at the top.
It's quite funny to look back, Johnny, when I was a youngster, playing football up the street in Benford Park in Lisburn. Little kid in my Liverpool kit running around the streets, diving around. My next door neighbour. We were the two Neils. Neil Doug, his name was.
Okay.
So we were the two Neils. It was quite fantastic that in them days, it's like, obviously I was lucky enough to go over to England. Lucky enough to become professional. You need a bit of luck. It's a bit of timing. It's a bit of everything. You need definitely luck. It is, mate. You do. You've got, it's okay having the talent, but you need a little bit extra. Mm-hmm. And to be fair, it was fun when Neil grew up to be his rugby professional, cricket professional. I was a footballer, and us two, we still kick around now like we're best mates and stuff. He's class.
Yeah,
he is. But you look at so many memories down the road, and it's fun. It's good to think about. It's hard, but there's also some good moments as well. Awesome. And there's some funny ones as well, Johnny.
Yeah, I'm sure.
I'll tell you, when I was moving from Bournemouth to Wolverhampton, mate, there's some stories there.
Okay.
Don't know if you can show them on podcast, but they were quite strange.
It's just if you can say them.
I can say them. I've got nothing to hide, mate.
Well, we'll finish on a couple of nice stories.
Right, we'll finish off with a couple of them.
Finish on a fun, positive note.
Yeah, definitely, mate. I think it was... what was it? I was at Bournemouth first, and I was playing for Bashley. So Harry sent me out on loan just to give me a bit of men's football, get me tougher. And they were like Wimbledon, mate. So I was just getting it and booming it all the time. Played against Kettering in the FA... Was it the FA Trophy?
Okay.
So Harry allowed me to play in the game. So I played the game, had a blinder, a couple of assists. We lost 3-2. In after the game, shake hands, and you meet the chairman at Kettering come up. I didn't know who he was. He says, "You're not bad." I said, "Thank you very much." He said, "Well played today." I said, "Thank you." He said, "Will you come and play for us for 750 quid a week?" I said, "Excuse me? I'm getting £27.50 at Bournemouth. I don't even have a contract." And he's gone, "I'll give you 750 quid a week." I was like 17 at the time or whatever.
Yeah.
So I was like, no, I'm okay, mate. I want to prove myself at Bournemouth.
Yeah.
Didn't think about it, but looking back, it was quite crazy. Then in Bournemouth, obviously I'm flying high, loving every game. The lists are coming through, scouts. That doesn't bother me, mate. Then we had a game on the Saturday morning, and got a phone call in the morning, 6 o'clock in the morning. I'm thinking, who's this? So my digs people said, Neil, the phone's on for you. Glenn Roeder,
Okay.
Watford manager. Says, hello, Neil, I shouldn't be phoning you, but I'm phoning you. I said, oh, hello. How you
One
doing?
of those nice conversations.
One of those nice
that you're
conversations.
not supposed to have while people are in.
Yeah, he says, I'll give you £1,000 a week and I'll give you 100 grand.
Right.
And I what?
The 100 grand would have spoke to me very
that
quickly
was-
now,
that
to be
was
honest.
speak- that was speaking to me, mate.
I'd have been put in a bag and I'll see.
When I look back, I was very loyal in my time, but I'm thinking, well, I could have been a little bit.
Could have been a wee bit wiser.
Yeah, but I thought it was a little bit under the table. So we had Fulham away.
Okay.
Fulham away, mate, walking down the old tunnel, out of the old house, Fulham away. Just about to walk on the pitch, mate. This geezer barges me. Glenn Roeder.
Oh, really? And you said no?
I hadn't said anything.
Oh,
I said,
right, okay.
well, I did say no. I said, no, I'm a Bournemouth player.
Okay.
So he says, yeah, but run down your contract and then
I come back to me.
So he's bumped into me, mate. I'm going on the pitch thinking, my last thought is I want to think about him when I'm going on the pitch. So I'm thinking, what's happening? What's happening there? And then obviously there was, before I joined Wolves, Aberdeen.
Right.
Don't know if people know that one. That was.
You were potentially supposed to go.
I got a phone call. We were playing Bristol Rovers at home. And Tony Pulis has said to me, bring a shirt and tie. I said, Tony, I'm wearing a shirt and tie. That's what we wear to the games. He said, no, another one. Oh, okay, no problem. So basically, got to the game, played the game, won 4-0. I was flying. Absolutely loved it. I think that game, Johnny, I had 12 shots in goal.
From left back?
15 free kicks. I was, to be fair, half my free kicks were hitting everywhere.
Yeah.
I don't know. I was just getting excited.
I get you.
So after the game, got an airplane to Aberdeen, landed, mate. It was windy.
Right, it's freezing.
Mate, Baltic.
But you went and lived in
But,
Norway,
yeah, but it doesn't worry me. And the only thing I could think about Aberdeen is that I'm going to play against Rangers and Celtic.
which would have been
I
class.
thought that's brilliant.
Yeah.
That's cool. It's a step up from Bournemouth. And then I can do well there. Possibilities getting into Europe. I can build on the next stage of my career. So I met Roy Aitken and Billy Miller, managers. And the first person I met in the training gym was Alex McLeish.
Okay.
3 legends of
Yeah.
the game in Scotland. I'm like, so they sold it within 2 seconds. Met the chairman, deal done. I'm walking around the pitch. The wind, mate, it's like a tornado out there. So I thought, okay. And then for some strange reason, I said, can I have 24 hours to think about it? Just so I can speak to my mum and dad and just do it properly. He said, yeah, no problem. And then the next morning, flew back to Bournemouth next morning, 5 o'clock in the morning. Tony's on the phone. And we're going to pick you up in 10 minutes. We're going to another club. I'm like, Tony, I'm knackered, mate. I've just played a game going up there. What's going on? And he said, no, I want you to take this club. I said, it's Premier League. He says, no, but they want to get there. They want to get there bad. And you can be part of it. So he picked me up. We started driving. And I'm looking at these signs. And I'm looking Liverpool and Manchester. I'm thinking, please,
No,
be
put it
one
off the
one of these. And then we just edged over. We came to a T-junction. And Tony goes, look right. So I was like, I looked right and I seen Molyneux, the stadium, brand new stadium built. I thought, oh, this is not bad.
That's not bad.
This is not bad. Walked into the stadium, agent and everything. They had their talks, met the manager. Really nice guy. Walked in the middle of the pitch. I said, can I go out on my own? Just lead me a little bit. Walked into the semicircle and the centre circle. Looked around the place and I thought, I can play here.
Yeah.
I can play here. That was it.
See the difference between, and not to talk financial because it's not something I usually do, but from where you are in the championship to Aberdeen, is it a big difference?
No, same.
Same money?
Exactly the same.
Really?
Yeah.
How is Aberdeen able to pay that money?
Don't know. Thought I was half decent, probably. I think it was worth something, Johnny. So I think, but the funny thing, when I signed at Wolves, Darren Ferguson, Sir Alex Ferguson's son,
Okay.
he signed 3 weeks after me.
Right, okay.
Aye.
Was he Dutch?
He was on double what I earned.
Oh,
He
God.
came for half of what I got sold for,
Right.
and he got double. He told me.
That's so mad.
I said, "Who was your agent, Darren?" He goes, "My dad."
Oh,
I
no.
thought, fair enough, mate.
That's it.
I'm not
That's a
arguing with
deal
him.
done where it
Yeah.
has to be where we'll load you players or something.
Yeah, but Johnny, look at the people I was lucky enough to meet as well.
100%.
Johnny, I got to play with Steve Bull.
Yeah.
Legend. Set up a goal in the first game. He threw me into the crowd. And Steve Bill's going on podcasts saying, we lost a great left back and we signed with a great team with, and he mentioned my name, and just to mention my name, that means so much to me.
Yeah.
And I think the players that I've met, the people that I've met in football, have been lucky as well, mate. Met Sir Alex Ferguson a few times. Brilliant. It's just, you don't forget things like that.
Yeah.
You don't.
This is where we go back to, and we'll leave it on a high, is these contacts of yours. Not only do I want them for myself, obviously, and a selfish...
You're more than welcome, mate.
But at the same time,
you're more than welcome.
hopefully this podcast gets through, or you can send it on to a few people. And you don't know where you may end up yourself. You could be in England, you could be coaching, you could be doing exactly what you want to in a big club or an ambassador. So many opportunities, and I think that you should definitely put yourself out there to get them.
I think for myself, Johnny, I think one of the main reasons that I come on here is about yourself, the type of person you are, what you stand for. We've only known each other for a little bit of dialogue. We've met a couple of times now.
We have.
But for me, I think you try and get out the messages that are important to me. And of course, I would love to do more podcasts in the future.
Yeah.
There's so many more stories to tell.
100%.
But at the end of the day, for me, it's not about abusing my contacts or anything like that there. But I think the stage that you've set, I hope it goes in the direction that you want to, because for me, you've got all the ideas and thoughts and about what type of person I want to be as well. And to help me, and it has helped me because I've listened to shows where they talk about mental health, and that's what's given me the hope to reach out and obviously take this step.
Well, it takes a lot to come in. It takes a lot to be brutally honest about the things that you've went through and touching on those experiences, some good, some bad. And all I can say is I commemorate you. You're a good man, and we finish on hugs, which is the best part of the show. So I'll be a good sir.
Bring it on, big mom.
I'll be a good sir. It's been an absolute pleasure. Oh, I appreciate it. I don't think I'm going to have anybody travel to sit in this show as far as Norway, but we'll leave it open. Do you know what I mean? Hopefully there's somebody coming in from a nice place next, and you never know.
Absolutely, Johnny. I wish you all the best, mate, and
Thanks, mate.
hopefully we keep in touch and we move on.
We will. I might want a couple of ski lessons.
You won't get it from me, mate. I've closed a couple of ski resorts in it by falling over and crashing.
So in keep you and 3 more injuries, that'll be me.
For flip's sake, man. I'll just keep the dodgy jumper, mate, so I'm alright.
You keep that cardigan, I'll not take that off you, don't worry. Join us next week on the On The Spot Football Podcast for yet another fantastic guest. It's been an absolute pleasure to have Mr. Neil in with us today. Join us next week for the next one. See you soon.